Hello everybody and welcome to No Guns Life Season 2, what are we on, episode 5? 5 of Season 2, 17 overall, whatever we're on. Anime review. I'm going to be brutally honest this episode. I thought this was a complete waste of an episode, like legitimately. Like it's not just because, ooh, it's a bit more ecchi and all that. It just was a bit pants, you know? Last episode they ended on the cool Tetsuro stuff like, oh, what's he going to do? And then they were like, haha, boobies, you know? Felt kind of weird. I did like some parts of the episode, but unless this character is going to be reoccurring and he's going to turn into a badass, which, hey, that would be pretty cool. But it just seemed a bit weird, you know? Like, just a bit weird way of doing it. Like, oh, you know, we ended in such a weird place. Like, we began weird place after where we ended last week. Wasn't too big a fan of it, me, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. So anyway, let's get into the episode, see how everything went down. Let's do this. We begin with Olivier, who is visiting Juzo and really wants that data. You remember the data? She really wants that data. Juzo still trying to insist he doesn't have it. He broke a lot of laws, it turns out, also. And he says, yeah, even if I had the data, I can't give it you because of my current problem. And then she gives him photos saying, like, look, the hostages have been freed, we have them in custody, and I'm asking them questions. Can I have the data now, please? And everything. So, hopefully, basically, she's trying to bargain, but she will arrest him. If she won't really, though. She has the hearts for him. But she really wants that data, by any means necessary. And, yes, so, maybe... Who knows? I don't remember if she actually got the data or not. I would assume she did. I can't remember. Oh boy, I cannot remember. Well, that's the thing. She may or may not have gotten the data is where we're at. We then get introduced to our hard-boiled detective character. Another one. He's called Podpie. And, yeah, my original, like, what this guy is was completely off what he actually is. So he sees something, he's looking about and everything. Spitsbergen is still around Juzo's house. Podpie makes a noise which, you know, alerts them and then they retreat. So Podpie, good guy, he's a master of deceit and disguise and all those things, right? Mary's talking to that girl, Rosa, who is the one at the end of season 1, the weird random episode where they found the hand, where they found Lefty. I think Rosa was that girl, who is now super into Juzo, despite being like, extend to the worst, I hate them all. Now she's like, Juzo, I want his PP, his gun PP, and everything. She wants to fix his coat and everything. And Mary being Mary, I can't tell if she's being actually like helpful or if she just wants to see how this plays out. Because she's like, okay, Juzo's super dense, right? So you have to be crystal clear with him. So basically she's almost trying to set them up, like almost, which is bizarre because Juzo has a gun for a head. How is Juzo getting all this tail looking like he does? It doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, regardless of how good a guy he is, like, he's got a gun for a head. Like, how do you kiss that? God, they're gonna do that, aren't they? That's a gag they're gonna do. I want to see that. Do that. But yeah, Rosa ends up going to see Juzo, and she screams because she walks in on him with, what's her name, Olivier, like basically on his lap, and she's like, you're the worst, Juzo, you're a scumbag and all that. Podpie, Rosa runs past Podpie and he is dumbfounded by her beauty, is what we're gonna say. That's not what it was, but that's what we're gonna say. Yeah, that's, Podpie's like, my time has come. So there were a few little inklings when I was getting looking through for the stills in the background. They did zoom in on boobs a lot, like, but I didn't really register that the first time. I just thought I just thought it was No Guns Life being No Guns Life. Like, I didn't think it was Podpie's character trait, you know. Which, I mean, we'll get to it. We're gonna get to it right now. Juzo's apparently told the hairdressers everything, which is nice, I get. Podpie enters the store to get his hair washed as well. That's just a thing. And then at this point, I was like, when he was getting his hair washed by the girl, whose name I don't remember, you just see him looking at her boobs and stuff, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, this guy's not a hard-boiled detective at all. I've been tricked. He's just a pervert. And that's basically what he is. All this work I thought originally because he's got the hots for the hairdresser daughter and everything. He's got this sensor thing on his neck. I guess it's a sub-brain to show he's got a thing. He makes men's dreams come true. He gives this big old impassioned speech. At this point I was like, okay, what even is this character? Why is he in this show? I like the world of No Guns Life. It is kind of interesting. This guy just doesn't seem to fit. What's going on? He gets a super nosebleed, as you do. Like, it's massive nosebleed. Again, doesn't really fit No Guns Life, like the aesthetic I have for it. He just feels really off, you know? Mary shows up, sees the dude's eyes, and it's like, you've got extensions in your eyes. I wonder what they are for. And then he gets mad at her boobs because she's not massive, I guess. Like, bloody hell, what am I even going on this time? And he figures out, Mary figures out exactly what she's been doing, gets really pissed off, as you would, and delivers the biggest punch in the history of the world to his face and knocks the dude out cold. Get wrecked. What was your name? Podpie. Podpie the pervert. That's your super name. I don't know what I'm saying. He got knocked out. Mary's great. I like Mary. I think she's top. They tied him up and everything like he's committed some great crime, which I guess he sort of has and everything. Basically, he has X-ray vision. Illegal extension. Juzo doesn't really get any of this. He's like, can I see the pictures? I don't get what he's doing. And then Mary's like, you look, you die. Okay, this isn't up for debate. You cannot look. And he's like, okay then. This guy was part of the security bureau, it turned out, but he got fired because he kept using his extension for evil. And by evil I mean personal. I mean he was just stripping girls with his eyes, basically. I mean, at least it's obvious he's got an eye extension. Imagine if it would just look like regular eyes. Like, he'd never get caught. He'd never get caught whatsoever. His neck thing activates, which explodes things, and then he gets a full frontal view of Juzo. So, and then he gets freaked out by it, as you do. And Juzo Juzo speaks to, like, every anime fan. He's like, that girl is young enough to be your daughter. Like, stop that. Stop that, please, now. Behave yourself, act like an adult. And it's just like, oof, why are you attacking me right now, Juzo? Like, what are you doing? Then that girl, the kind hairdresser girl, she's like, oh, it's fine as long as he doesn't do it again. And Mary's like, no, it's not fine. He can't be doing that. What if he sold it? What if it got on the black market, you know? Juzo basically then tells him, use your power for what is truly right. And I'm just hitting it thinking like, the dude just peeks at people's boobs, you know? Don't try and make him a good character. Is this going to be like Raiden? Is he going to come back like a badass? Like, do we want that? Do we want this guy to come back? No, we don't really. And then he leaves, and then we get the important stuff of the episode right at the end, I guess. So Juzo says, if you don't watch out, you'll end up becoming a tool. Mary's there. She's like, you sound like you were talking about yourself there. And it's like, oh, yeah, probably, you know. He then talks about himself a little bit. He tells Mary about Noble, I think they were called Noble Rot, which was, I guess, the unit he was part of. The one that he presumably killed them all. So that's a thing that happened. Mary thinks Juzo's powers also save people, and he is not just a bad guy, you know. But then, as that's going on in the darkness, who is there looming? It's Tetsuro. Tetsuro's just in the shadows watching. So I guess he got freed from the EMS and is just looking around. So presumably he'll come back to the group next week. Maybe explain what's going on. Or he might just keep it to himself. That's a bit scary. Don't want to do that. Tetsuro, you need to fill your friends in on what's going on. So my favourite part of the episode, I was really stuck for choice here because I didn't like... I said before, I didn't like most of this episode. I thought Podpie was a stupid character who didn't fit the show very well. Yeah, the show has got like, it's like fan servicey, but it's like played serious and they sort of ignore all that, you know? This dude being so like comedic in what he is, didn't like him. So no, nothing to do with him. My favourite part is just Rosa's flip. Like she's like, now she's super into Juzo. Like, and Mary, I'm pretty sure Mary's just trolling because she wants to see Juzo's reaction. Which, hey, I want to see his reaction too. But no, I hope they do more with that because Rosa is kind of funny now. I kind of want to see what she does. I expect it'll be every time she goes to try and see him, she'll find him in another situation that could be misconstrued, and she'll get mad at him and scream again. I think that's where we're going with this, just a recurring gag. Which, hey, it's a bit of a shame, but what can you do? What can you do? Anyway, thank you everybody for watching this episode. Sorry I didn't like the episode much. It doesn't happen often. Usually I'm pretty positive in these, but this episode didn't do a lot for me, I'm going to be honest. So, thank you for watching. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care, and bye guys.